Jannik Sinner is a Masters champion, winning Cincinnati, defeating TFO in the final, but nobody's talking about it right now because there has been massive breaking news, and that is Jannik Sinner tested positive twice back in March for doping. His name has been cleared today, but this is the first we're hearing about it, and it's massive news. Yes, that's right. We've got Stuart Fraser putting out this tweet saying, breaking, Jannik Sinner has escaped a drugs ban after a tribunal accepted that 2 failed tests in March were caused through contamination from a massage by his physiotherapist. A tribunal in London ruled that the world number one bears no fault or negligence. And just crazy, really, that something like this is coming out. The biggest shock for me is that nobody knew anything about him failing 2 tests in March, which of course was when he was playing Carlos Alcaraz at Indian Wells. He was having a good year up until that point. And yeah, I mean, it's just not a great look, all of this. I'm really happy his name's been cleared and he's been able to provide the evidence, but it's going to create so much speculation around Jannik Sinner. Everyone's going to be talking about this. There's going to be that air of mystery around his results, him, and it's really horrible. But let's hope he can get the full clearance on everything. But it appears today that has happened. So this is the statement as it's being read from Jannik Sinner. He released it today in a letter, and the big title is he's been cleared of any wrongdoing by an independent tribunal. So hopefully people can read that and not look too much more into it. Unfortunately, we all know the truth, and that is that people will never let this one live down. They're always going to be speaking about it. And, well, the saying goes, there's no smoke without fire. In April, Jannik Sinner was notified that he tested positive for a trace element of a metabolite of the substance clostebol, less than a billionth of a gram. Following a thorough and extensive investigation, the ITIA and Jannik discovered the inadvertent contamination of clostebol come through the treatment he received from his physiotherapist. His fitness trainer purchased a product easily available over the counter in any Italian pharmacy, which he gave to Jannik's physiotherapist to care for a cut on the physiotherapist's finger. Jannik knew nothing of this, and the physiotherapist did not know that he was using a product containing clostebol. The physiotherapist treated Jannik without gloves, and coupled with various skin lesions on Jannik's body, caused the inadvertent contamination. I mean, wild. The fact that it was on the physiotherapist's finger, and that's what created the contamination. It clearly wasn't much of one. And yeah, it just seems really dodgy, all of this, and sketchy. Jannik cooperated fully with the ITIA's investigation from the beginning. They're battling misconduct in sport and doping in particular. Its rules and processes are exceptionally rigorous, and following forensic investigation and an independent hearing, the independent tribunal have decided that Jannik is innocent. He is not at fault. However, given the strict liability nature of the anti-doping rules, he accepts that he loses the points from Indian Wells tournament where the test took place. So, for those wondering what points they were, it will be all 400 points and prize money of $320,000, which I'm not sure how that's going to play out with him being world number one. I think because it's only 400, it's not too bad. If he would have won Indian Wells, of course, he would have lost a lot more. And I think he's doing pretty well for money, but still quite a big penalty to pay. And yeah, I'm totally on board and understand why they've done that. And so does Jannik Sinner here. So this is what Jannik Sinner had to say. He said, I will now put this challenging and deeply unfortunate period behind me. I will continue to do everything I can to ensure I continue to comply with the ITIA's anti-doping program, and I have a team around me that are meticulous in their own compliance. Jannik's lawyer, Jamie Singer, he also said anti-doping rules have to be very strict to be effective. Sadly, the unfortunate consequence is that occasionally entirely innocent athletes get caught up in them. There's no question that Jannik is innocent in this case. The ITIA did not challenge that key principle. However, under strict liability rules, Jannik is responsible for whatever is in his system, even when entirely unaware of it. as in this exceptional case. The matter is now closed, and Jannik Sinner is looking forward to his upcoming rest of the season. Wow, where to begin? I mean, so to break it down, we understand how the contamination occurred. He is completely innocent, but I feel this does put a little bit of a stain on him as a person, because people will throw this up in conversation. I'm hoping that's not always going to be the case, and I do really feel sorry for him. The big questions being asked now, though, is when there's a positive doping test, as Gil has put here, how is it determined if or if not there is a provisional suspension? I don't understand why someone is going through this suspension, like a provisional test, as to say, why is there no suspension? And this is what he's saying there. And I've been trying to do a bit of research as to why that would be. And there's a good article on the BBC. I recommend having a read of it. And it says here, why could Sinner carry on playing? And the reason that is because under the World Anti-Doping Code, a provisional suspension is automatically applied when a player tests positive for a non-specific substance. Players have the right to apply to an independent tribunal chair to have the suspension lifted. On both occasions, Sinner appealed successfully against the suspension and was able to provide an explanation of how the substance had entered his system. The ITIA subsequently consulted with scientific experts who said Sinner's explanation was credible, and as a result, they did not oppose his appeal against his provisional suspension. So that is why he was able to continue and play. And, well, let's be honest, he's got to world number 1 since this incident and is looking like a fantastic player. Recently, yesterday, just winning Cincinnati. So hopefully this can all go away and people can be positive about Jannik Sinner. He has been cleared, but of course, not good to be caught up and involved in these big doping scandals. But there we go. That is the news. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Jannik Sinner is innocent, but for sure people will be talking about it. I'm sure maybe some other players or fans from other players are going to maybe mention things like this to him, and it's going to create a bit of a narrative, I'm sure, in future tournament and matches. But let me know what you guys think, and if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon.